Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. And we continue to work backwards through the letter H, and we're in our second video devoted to the music of the incredibly fascinating and fecund, he was fecund, Paul Hindemith. Yeah, great stuff here. Let's get right to it. We've got tons of stuff to talk about. First, this wonderful disc of the Symphonic Metamorphosis on themes by Weber and the concert music for strings and brass with the Philadelphia Orchestra and Ormandy. These were the last recordings Ormandy made, these EMI ones, after he had been with Columbia and with RCA, and then he jumped ship to EMI, made a couple digital recordings as well. And this is coupled with the Miraculous Mandarin Suite, which was sort of an Ormandy showpiece, actually. These are splendid performances. There's only one teeny tiny thing wrong in the entire disc, and that's in the first movement of the Symphonic Metamorphosis. The oboe plays, he misses a note. He drops out. The oboe goes da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Then the oboe comes in, ya da 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 dum ba da da dum bum ba. Well, he doesn't do the turn. The oboe just goes da 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 dum bum bum ba. So you're missing the woo doo dum. I remember the first time I heard that, I said, "What's that?" Could be they're working from a different parts. Little details like that sometimes happen. And of course, Ormandy was playing Hindemith during, Hindemith's life. And they had a very strong relationship in terms of, when Hindemith was in the United States at Yale University, and he wrote that Symphonic Metamorphosis while at Yale around, 1943, somewhere in there, during the Second World War. So who knows? All I could tell, and everybody was conducting it. Everybody did. Bernstein did it. Zell did it. Everybody did it. So this is a really fine performance. I'm not going to, get upset because it's missing the did and the oboe part. But I noticed it. What can I tell you? Because I love the work. And the concert music for strings and brass is just terrific. It's just a wonderful piece. It's so much fun. That was a sort of a Bernstein specialty. Hindemith conducted all these things himself, and we're going to, at some point, probably get to his recordings. And none of them are very good. I mean, they're not terrible, but he was not a great conductor, and he was not a great conductor even of his own music, because he made it, sort of more foursquare and clunky than it needed to be. So get major conductors with major orchestras. And don't worry about what Hindemith may have done. A very similar situation with Stravinsky, by the way. Then we've got this Sony recording. What have we got? Oh, look! The Symphonic Metamorphosis on themes by Weber with the Los Angeles Phil and Esa-Pekka Salin and the Four Temperaments. Now, the Four Temperaments is a fascinating piece. It's a ballet. And you know what the Four Temperaments are, right? They're, Nielsen wrote a symphony about them, his second symphony. They're sanguine, melancholy, choleric, and phlegmatic. I got them. Those are the Four Temperaments, supposedly based on your bodily humors, and basic bodily fluids are related to them. Sanguine is blood, and, bile is choleric, and whatever. Anyway, phlegm is phlegmatic. Get it? So it's a concerto for piano and strings, as well as a ballet, as well as a theme and variations, all in one enjoyable package. So that's fun to hear. And the pianist here is Emanuel Ax. Well, he knows it. He's wonderful. And then we have the Symphonie Mathis der Mahler. It's a terrific Hindemith disc that nobody remembers or paid any attention to, because it was released as part of the deluge of things coming out. But, oh, yeah, great stuff. So that's nice. I'm really happy I kept that as a single. It's in the, the big Salonen box, which has been out of print for 100 million years. Then we've got a couple of his early, crazy, psychotic, I have all of them somewhere, but they're not, they got detached, so they're not all in order. But he wrote 3 expressionist operas. They are really, really nuts. There's Murder, the Hope of Women, Murder, Hoffnung des Frauen, or whatever it's called. Das Nushi, which is a Balinese marionette play with all kinds of sick things happening. And Sancta Susanna, which caused a scandal in its performance, in which, Susanna wants to unite with the statue of Christ, but not in the way that you're supposed to do that sort of uniting, if you get my drift. So, yeah, here are a couple of them. So here is Das Nush Nushi, which has, let's see, yes, a play for Burmese marionettes in one act. Okay, it's an hour long, and it's really, really strange and fun, and it's on Vergo, and we're not going to get into the details. Gerd Albrecht is conducting the Berlin Radio Symphony. And this one is Murder, the Hope of Women, which was a book, a set of poems and illustrations, paintings by Oskar Kokoschka, the great expressionist Viennese artist who actually, sort of ran out of juice at one point and then became kind of a nice watercolorist or landscape artist. But, he had an affair with Alma Mahler. Remember her? Everybody had an affair with Alma. And they had these crazy parties, in the 20s where, they would take an effigy of somebody and burn it and throw it in the swimming pool, and the police would be called and they'd think it was funny. And this is like that. I mean, Hindemith was wild in his early period, and the music is post-Straussian, decadent, crazy. Lots of fun. Really lots of fun. And you also, there's a ballet here too, the Der Daemon. I forgot about that. The dance pantomime. The Demon, it's for chamber ensemble. So the Murder of the Hope of Women is only 23 minutes long. And Der Daemon is 32 minutes long, and it's a bunch of dances for chamber ensemble. And Gerd Albrecht is also doing this sucker with members of the Berlin Radio Symphony Orchestra on Vergo. So endless fun. And, boy, we've been talking a lot about this stuff. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? I think that's enough to sort of, for you to take in and digest. And once you've digested that, we'll move on. Because there's so much Hindemith. And, and it's music that makes you think. It's music that's, it's good. It's chewy. It's exciting. It's satisfying. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.